Hello everybody, and welcome to the Son of the Morning Comics channel. I thought I'd do one more video here before bedtime. It's around about 3 a.m. Central Standard Time. My work is shut down, so hey, nothing to wake up for. I got a backlog of reviews to do. This, of course, not being one of them. So what I decided to do here before bed is to just do a just do a special on Alex Ross art, because I think everybody really needs to understand just how phenomenal of an artist that this man is. So I'm gonna show you a bunch of stuff. This shouldn't be the longest video in the world, but I think it'll be a good one just because of the visuals that you're gonna see. Now, Alex Ross first came to my attention when he and Kurt Busiek wrote the Marvel series, I believe, in about 1995 or 1996. It was a several-part series. Now, the first one in the list here is Marvel's Book Zero. So I guess this was released after the fact, but obviously the first thing you notice is the realism that Alex Ross delivers that just not many other artists, especially comic book artists, can produce. So you take a look at it here and you have this just wonderful illustration of the Green Goblin throwing a pumpkin bomb at Spider-Man, with the onlookers in horror at the sight that they're seeing. Just a beautiful cover. The next one that I'm going to show you, I believe this was the first in the series. Now, this is the Android Human Torch. I should say before I continue that this Marvel series was a third-person narrative that was supposed to be written by a man named Phil Sheldon, who was working at the Daily Bugle at the time. So we'll just get that out of the way. All of these books in this series are a third person about him writing about it, writing articles, books, etc. So the second one here is the Android Human Torch, not Johnny Storm. We're talking about pre-Marvel days. We're talking about the, I don't know if it was called Timely at the time or what it was, but this is the story of the Android Human Torch. What a wonderful illustration. Believe me, if I had time, I would show you the insides of these comics, because the art doesn't get any worse. It only gets better. And love this cover. Now, the next one is the Silver Surfer is on the cover. Now, this issue covers the coming of Galactus. And I just think it's real. What a wonderful, wonderful illustration of the Silver Surfer with the reflection of the Human Torch, this time Johnny Storm Human Torch, on his chest and torso. Just fantastic art. Can't say enough about it. The next one here is when we've moved into the Age of the X-Men, and you see there's a bunch of people here who are, you know, against mutants. That's nothing new in the Marvel lexicon. Mutants have always been looked at with suspicion. And here you see Angel rescuing a mutant child and flying away from the mob. Beautiful illustration. And the next one, this was the final book in the original Marvel series by Alex Ross and Kurt Busiek. If you have the chance, if you can pick up these books or the trade paperback, I highly suggest that you do it. Check out this wonderful illustration of Spider-Man's eye with the reflection of the Green Goblin and Gwen Stacy in the background. Or we all know what happens here. This is one of the most seminal moments in Marvel Comics history, with both the death of Gwen Stacy and the death of Green Goblin. And then, of course, just this past year, 2019, I believe, they came out with a Marvel's epilogue. This, of course, telling the Dark Phoenix saga. What a wonderful depiction of the Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey, in Dark Phoenix form. It's the best illustration I think you're going to find of that. You could look at X-Men 101. You could look at any of the other X-Men books from that era that involve the Phoenix. You can look at the depictions of the Phoenix in the movies. It doesn't get better than this. And if you can't find those individual titles, you could, like I said, you could always get the trade paperback, which we got right here. Now, of course, this was produced before the Marvel's epilogue was released, so it doesn't have that story in it, but it still has all of the amazing art from Alex Ross in here. So, as you can see, I've got the Marvel's poster book featuring the art of Alex Ross. We're going to go through that in a minute or so, but I did want to highlight a few other things as well. So, we'll get right to that. Now, some of the art that Alex Ross has done has become absolutely iconic. Now, I think you're seeing that in front of you, but I just want to show you a few more examples. Now, the first one being here, Earth X, which was with Alex Ross, written by Jim Kruger. This is a futuristic story where everybody is pretty much turned into mutants, and it's just a fantastic story. Once again, I'll just quickly flip through here so you can see just some of this spectacular art that is in this book. And, you know, they even have some infographics so you can understand where they were coming from. Got Submariner in there. You got everybody in here. Everybody makes an appearance. The Punisher's making an appearance. And we got, you know, in this book, Spider-Man's daughter is now Venom. I don't think that this counts as a canon book or anything like that. If you've heard me say this many times, I don't care about canon. I care about good story and good art. So you can just see in this book, some of this stuff is absolutely phenomenal. Look at this illustration here of Spider-Man. Just fantastic. Obviously, I'm not doing this any justice. Love the Earth X Captain America. I think it's just such a cool departure from what we're used to, which is a lot of what this book is. Now, this is, I can't say enough about this. All I'm gonna say is, if you haven't read Earth X, and just look at the back cover, look at the illustration. If you haven't read this book, and it's a thickie, I would go out and find this. I mean, this isn't something you need to find in a comic book store. You could find this at, I mean, in Canada, it would be Chapters Indigo. I don't know what the bookstores are in the States. You could also order this off of Amazon, I'm sure, as well. But just a great read. Absolutely fantastic read. Fantastic art. Doesn't get much better than this. This is one of my favorite graphic novels. And of course, that Alex Ross's wonderful art was not just limited to Marvel Comics. One of the best examples you're gonna see of his art is this DC Elseworld story, Kingdom Come, with the story by Mark Waid and the illustrations by Alex Ross. Just a wonderful cover. Once again, I don't really have the time here to go through every page for you, but like, look at some of this stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. Look at these depictions. They're absolutely great. And as well, the story by Mark Waid in this book is absolutely phenomenal. But so we're just gonna flip through here so you can see some of the stuff here. Gotta love realistic looking Wonder Woman. It's just it's a fantastic book. Great read, one of my favorites. It might fall right behind Earth X for me in terms of my favorite graphic novels. And you got Superman here. Superman is an aged Superman, as you can see. And I think that that's super cool. And, you know, just like, look at some of these illustrations. They're just amazing. And, you know, it's just a shame that there isn't more art like this available today, especially when you get into some of the Marvel comics where, I don't know, where it looks like the art was just sort of sketched. Whereas, I mean, look at the facial expressions on Superman. Look at Superman in general, Wonder Woman. They all look absolutely fantastic in this book. And there's nothing not to like here. It's just a great story. Shazam looks super cool. You can't not like this stuff. It's awesome. I'm not like I said, flipping through these things is not doing any justice, but I always like in these graphic novels how they show the sketches and how they got to where they were in the final product. Absolutely awesome. No complaints about anything like that. Just, you know, magnificent storytelling by Mark Waid, and quite clearly unbelievable art by Alex Ross. Look at this shot here. Does it get any better than that? I don't know if it does. And like, just look at this. Look at, you got Batman looking cool, and you got Superman looking different but very cool. And yeah, we saw that on the front. So, you know, action scenes are absolutely amazing in this. And, you know, it's just such a cool book. Once again, if you don't have this, if you haven't read it, pick up the trade paperback. It can be found easily on Amazon or on any bookstore website. And it will be well worth your money if you decide to purchase that. And the third graphic novel DC, or the second DC graphic novel I wanted to show you, was Alex Ross Justice with Jim Kruger and Doug Brathwaite. Another example of just an amazing story with absolutely incredible art. The action in these is amazing. Superman looks amazing. Everybody looks amazing. Let's get serious here. And, you know, like, even the Martian Manhunter looks super cool. And it's a great story. I don't want to ruin any of the story, but, like, look at the Flash here. Have you ever seen a cooler depiction of the Flash? I don't think that I have. Just, you know, this stuff is, it's fantastic. Look at Shazam, look at Superman. There's nothing not to like about this stuff. Look at Batman, it's got realism. Everything looks real. The Green Lantern looks cool. You know, even Robin, even Boy Wonder looks like something special. Alex Ross can make Boy Wonder look like something special. Is there anything that he can't do? And, you know, great story. I'm not gonna ruin any of it for you. Just has tons of great action sequences. We got Green Lantern taking on Sinestro. I just can't say enough about how awesome it is. And just look at these type of pictures here. Alex Ross is in a class of his own. Same thing, you can pick this up. You don't have to go to your comic shop to pick this up. You can get this on Amazon or on online bookstore. They always have them. Now, before we get into the main event here, I just want to show a couple more things. So recently there was a new Wolverine #1 released a couple weeks, maybe a month ago, and it had an Alex Ross variant cover. And what can you say about this cover? You got this lush green background and almost just a silhouette of Wolverine, but I just think that this is absolutely beautiful. I had to get it. And another one here is the Immortal Hulk 31. Now, I recently found out that Alex Ross has in fact done all of the covers for the Immortal Hulk, and I'm very much considering going back and collecting them all because I just love Alex Ross so much. What a great depiction of the Hulk. What a great cityscape in the background. Nothing you can say except this is just awesome. Now, I also understand that Alex Ross has been doing the covers for the current Captain America series. And I would love to say that I would like to go back and, much like the Immortal Hulk, and get all of those Alex Ross covers. But I have serious problems with the current Captain America run, and I would literally only be buying the books for the covers. I mean, the Hulk 31, even though I bought it for the cover, I still read it. I'm not gonna do the same with the Captain America ones because I know that I disagree with what has been done to Captain America over the past few years. They basically turned him into a Nazi, basically completely altered his origin story and the history of Captain America, and I just can't do it. So before we get into this, there have been some recent Alex Ross covers with the recent Marvel series that have been coming out over the last month or two. First one here is Marvel's X #1. Marvel's X, of course, being a prequel to Earth X, which I just showed you a couple of minutes ago. Great cover. This is David. He's not the Green Goblin. He's just wearing a Green Goblin mask because everyone in the world is mutants and he's trying to keep himself safe. Marvel's X #2 has a fantastic cover as well. We've got some Ghost Rider action. We've got some Spidey action. What's not to like about these covers? Everything that Alex Ross does just has that eye appeal. And then next is Marvel's X #3, where we have just another beautiful cover. My favorite thing about this is the depiction of Doctor Strange. Look at the facial expression on Doctor Strange. Just a great, great, great cover. Now, Marvel #1. This one, I gotta say, I'm not impressed with the interior. The story for me was a little weird and the interior art was weird, but Alex Ross didn't do the interior art. He did the art out here where we see a Human Torch on fire. It's beautiful. It's Alex Ross. It's vintage Alex Ross. And this one I really like. This is the Marvel Snapshots #1. Submariner. I believe the next one that comes out is going to be the Marvel's Snapshot #2, which I believe is going to be the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four being my favorite superhero team / comic. I'm very much looking forward to that. So that brings us to the Marvel's poster book. And I wanted to make this video because, quite honestly, I plan on taking this book apart. There's so many cool posters in this book that I want to use several of them to make several different pictures because I just think that would be awesome. So, who do we got on the cover here? None other than the Eater of Worlds himself, Galactus, one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Universe. So let's open it up, and even in the opening page here we get a beautiful picture of Vision, and it just keeps getting better as we go along. Now, like, take a look at this, just like hopefully this shows up well, just the Marvel's logo with every superhero and supervillain you can think of in the Marvel Universe well on display. Just unbelievable stuff. Now, we of course saw this picture when I showed you the cover, but it's much more majestic when you get to see it in this big form, in the poster form here. And same thing with the Human Torch. And this one, this is absolute, I love this here. Once again, hopefully you can see this well. You've got a firefight going down, and you've got all of the Avengers descending on it to, you know, stop the problem here. So, you know, you got Vision, you got Cap, you got the whole crew going in there to save the day. And same thing as before, you've seen this, except now you get to see it in its poster form in all of its majesty. Wonderful stuff, just wonderful stuff. And here again we get just another wonderful depiction, realistic depiction of Captain America. Great stuff, just great stuff. And another sort of collage here that just displays the wonderful art. You've got Thor, you've got Iron Man, and you've got all of the onlookers trying to figure out what's going on. Absolutely great. Another picture that I absolutely love is this X-Men picture. Of course, the X-Men are still demonized at this point in time. Love the red hue of everything. Love the little brightness coming from Cyclops. Everything is just so cool. And then, of course, we get the wedding of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. And you have, on one side, you have all of the regular people. And then on the other side, of course, you've got Johnny Storm and Captain America and Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, Daredevil, Doctor Strange, among others. Just beautiful art. And of course, we've seen this one as well, but doesn't it look much better when it's much bigger like that? Oh, flipping through. Nothing serious here, just cool art, but nothing to write home about. But then we see the Eater of Worlds in all his majesty. What a cool shot of Galactus. Great drawing. Alex Ross just seems to outdo himself on every page. And of course, this was the cover page. We know Galactus. We don't need to see that again. And another absolutely awesome drawing of Galactus as he is landing in New York to set up his world-eating machine. Of course, the ultimate nullifier that Reed Richards gets through Johnny Storm's travels through the cosmos ends that threat. And here's just another cool photo of the FF with Mr. Fantastic stretching all over the place. And, you know, here is another great shot. Of course, if you've read the Coming of Galactus arc from FF 48 to 50, you'll know that the Silver Surfer, who is Galactus's herald, turns on him. And this is the Silver Surfer attacking Galactus. And, you know, Ben Grimm and Reed Richards and Sue are just kind of standing by. But what can you do when that's your menace? And just another cool shot here too. Obviously this would be Galactus's world-eating machine, and the Silver Surfer doing his best to get in the way of anything bad happening. Once again, you get to see the big shot here of the Spider-Man eye with Gwen Stacy and the Green Goblin. As mentioned before, we know what's going to happen to both of these people, and one of them is going to be very sad, and the other one, not too many people are going to mind very much. And I believe that this is the same picture that was from the beginning of the book, with Vision doing his thing. Got some of the other guys there helping him out as well. And this is a beautiful shot of Phil Spector, the photographer who's documenting the Marvels, as he calls them. And he's taking a picture of Ant-Man, who appears to have turned himself into Giant Man at that point in time. And of course, the book ends similar with the comics with, you know, a sketch of Galactus. Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross did a wonderful job with this. I didn't think this was going to be a long video, but we're approaching half an hour as it is. But when we're looking at such beautiful art, the time just passes quickly. Kudos to Alex Ross. I hope he keeps drawing these wonderful illustrations and covers for many years to come. I'm a huge fan. So if you like this, seek out Alex Ross' work. And I want to thank everybody for joining me here on the Son of the Morning channel for this Alex Ross Spectacular. If you like this content, if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. You can contact me. Well, you can leave a message on the video. You can tag me at sonofthemorning7 on Twitter. Hit that like button if you like this stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can find out whenever I put out a new video. So I want to thank you for joining me for this Alex Ross Spectacular. Alex, you're the man.